Hi, everyone, and welcome to Ladies on the Line. I'm Tanya Galantine, and this is my co host, Katie Bordwell.
Hi. Thank you everyone for joining us again. Today we are going to do our Lancaster recap. And we both just got home. I got home yesterday. When did you get home, Tanya?
I got home late Saturday night. Once we finished shooting Saturday morning, we were like, okay, we decided to just go, because we knew it was going to be bad. And we made it, I think, about halfway before the storm hit and got bad. So half of it was pretty easy and we got through it fast. The other half was a little interesting and we had to drive slow and careful. What about you? Did you have any issues getting home?
No, other than my car battery did not want to start. So I had dealt
No.
with, yeah. So once I actually had to get it jumped, but then once it was jumped, it was fine. It was so cold.
Okay.
And I need a new battery apparently. I'm not good with car maintenance.
No.
Yeah, but the drive back was fine. I think I actually saw something that you had posted that you guys were like in standstill traffic, and I
Yes.
hadn't,
Did you get stuck in traffic too?
no, but I haven't left yet. And I saw that and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, what am I getting into? I thought I was going to be stuck in the storm, but it actually was like, it was fine. It was a good drive.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, when did you say you got home? You got home?
Gosh, what day is today? Today's Tuesday. I got home
No,
wait,
today's
no, today's
Monday.
Monday. Sorry. I am all off track with what day of the week it is. I got home on Saturday night. So, okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been
Yeah.
a long week.
And it's so weird because we're used to Lancaster, you know, being done on Sunday, and I think that's why it's messing up our head.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. For anyone that doesn't know, they had to, because of the bad weather, they pushed everything onto Saturday. Like all the finals,
Yes.
all the eliminations, which
And I can't even imagine how crazy of a schedule it must be to normally have 2 days for finals or this long of a period of time to get everything done, and then all of a sudden, you have to do all of that in 1 day.
yeah, which I mean, you would think like they need double the amount of people because they're running two shoot offs at a time and everything. And
Yes.
I wasn't
I was like,
there
"Did they find more
still.
volunteers?" I
Yeah.
don't
But like watching online, I thought at least like it seemed like it ran really smoothly. Like I wouldn't have known any different. Like it didn't seem like they, had any hiccups.
No, I watched it too. It all seemed to work out really well, and I think they did amazing, and they need a good job for that
Yes.
because
Yeah.
they were trying to get everyone home safe, and I think they did awesome. They let us know in good time so everyone could prepare for it and change their plans if they needed to or could. So I thought that was pretty cool.
No, they did awesome. And were you at Lancaster 10 years ago when there was the big storm?
I was not, so this was my ninth year, so I just missed that one.
Okay. Yeah, which that one was, I think it was a lot bigger storm than what we got this year.
Yes, yes, I think so. And I also don't know if this one was as bad as they were anticipating. It might be in Lancaster. Like,
Yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
know, but it was supposed to be really bad here in Kentucky, and we didn't get very much. So,
Yeah, we got a good, at least a foot, but like that's just normal for us in New York. So like for us, it's just like just another day
seriously,
in winter.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, nothing
it is
new.
what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm sure, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think the dangerous part for us is because it wasn't very cold, and so when it all came down, it fell, and then it got warm, and it all melted, and then today, for some reason, it's 11 degrees outside, and we have a layer of ice this
Wow.
thick.
Yeah.
So, it's not that much, but when it's just pure ice, it's really dangerous. Gotta
Right.
be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah, I mean, we just got pretty much snow and some we got some slush out there, but it's like I said, it's a normal winter for us. It's nothing new. Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
normal weekend.
I got home when I got home yesterday, I did cuz everyone's building it up to be this big giant thing. So I was like, I need to get groceries. Like it sounds like I'm going to be stuck in my house for a few days. And I went grocery shopping and everything. And this morning I was like, why'd I do that? Like this is fine. I can still go drive, and I did drive, and it's all good. Yeah.
We did the exact same thing. Saturday night, we were on the way home, and we knew we'd come home to an empty house because 'cause we'd been gone for, 5 days or whatever, and so we stopped at Walmart on the way home. We were the only ones in Walmart, and everything was empty. There were, like, 3 potatoes left, straight up and grab, and, like, ready-made sauces and everything was just gone, and it was just funny what people picked,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was crazy. We're the only ones I've never been alone in Walmart before, so it was
Yeah, me
weird.
either. Was there toilet paper left, or was this, like, another COVID?
I I didn't even check because we were already stocked up on it,
Okay.
but maybe I should have just for
But yeah, I think that because I was at the one 10 years ago, and it was a good storm, and I think that Lancaster, like, they learned, we need to be ready for, like, that case scenario because there was
yeah.
upset people.
I mean, I wasn't there, but I do remember hearing about it and everything, and I think there were a lot of upset people about, them just cutting it and not giving people a chance to shoot their way into the
Yeah,
shoot up.
which I mean, the weather ended up being like they had to. Like, it was
Yeah,
soon.
that one actually was that bad, and I think people were stuck in their hotel for a while, and you know, restaurants were shut down, and yeah,
Yeah. So, but I think that, like, I'm curious if that 10 years ago has, like, every year since they've kind of had in the back of their head, like, this is our backup plan if this
I,
ever happens again.
I could imagine that they did have one and be like, okay, if we ever end up knowing this is going to happen, we need to make sure to make a contingency plan and
Yeah, because I had thought, because they had banners in the hallway when you're walking around, like, schedule change, like, scan the link for the schedule change or whatever, and, like, I
yeah,
got
it was like
thinking, like, they had to have had those banners pre-printed. Like, it's not like they can just get them printed that night unless they have a printer somewhere or something.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they might run the stables really quick, or they
Yeah.
or they were aware that it was a real option, that it might happen, and they were really well prepared for it.
Yeah. But, yeah, hats off to them, they did great.
Yes, I think everyone was happy with their decision, even if it didn't end up being as bad, at least where we were. I think it was pretty bad in Lancaster from what I can tell so far.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I think
Yeah.
I think Darren Christianberry, I think, posted a picture of his car, and it looks like it needs a shovel to get out right now, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And and that's when it's pretty cool. It's like, okay, if we had been there and had to stay, it would have been hard to get home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But let's get into the actual shooting part of Lancaster. Do you want to start and go ahead and tell about how Lancaster went for you?
Yeah, yeah. So I've always had issues indoors. I have this little mental thing. I shoot great at home, and then I go to a shoot and it's like, it just falls apart. And that's something I've been working on. And Lancaster actually, like, I still didn't shoot like I do at home in the very beginning of the shoot. The first two ends, there's always some nerves going on. And I shot a couple tens the first two ends. And for anyone that doesn't know, in Lancaster, you can't fix your target. You can't fix the holes. I think, and I got the nerves out pretty quick, and I got feeling good pretty quick, but the crappy holes were actually I was having a little bit of hard time with that, and I did first, like, there was multiple times in my head where I'm like, "Maybe I should change my target," and I didn't, but then when it came to the end, when we changed targets, I started shooting phenomenal. Like, I started actually shooting like I do at home. So, like, I did learn that lesson, like, as soon as I think for 1 second, like, I should change my target, I should actually go and change my target.
And just do it.
Yeah, but, like, so other than, like, the beginning there was pretty rough. The rest of it, it still wasn't exactly like home, but it was the most confident shooting feeling I've felt indoors that I have in a really long time. So, like, that was a little bit of, like, a good progression for me for indoors. It wasn't quite there. I ended with a 640, so it's not quite there, but it's like I said, it's a progression from what I've done in the past. So I'm middle of the road, a little disappointed, but also a little like, okay, I'm going the right way kind of thought
I feel
process.
like you're one step closer, and Vegas is coming up, so it's good step in the right direction.
Yes, exactly. Like I said, like towards the end of that shooting, I was like okay, things are starting to feel easy right now. This is not how I normally feel in a tournament. This is how I feel at home. So like that was like, okay, if I can get this feeling again at the next one, start off like this feeling, then hopefully it'll be better.
So this feeling you're talking about, like, is it a mental place that you go to?
So it's definitely like I could tell I have nerves. Like I could feel my heart a little bit and that little bit of like, gosh, like it's coming. And sometimes it's like to the point where like my bow doesn't feel like my bow. Like when I'm shooting, I'm like everything, and I don't know if everything's just so more intense and I'm noticing more and like everything's more alert. But like while I'm shooting, I'm like, this doesn't feel comfortable. This doesn't feel right. I did make some changes from Rushmore because I did get those feelings and I can figure out like, okay, these are some things I think I need to change, which I think they did help for this tournament. But like as my nerves go down and I get more confident, it starts feeling like my norm, like I said, like my bow again, like this feels normal to me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's more like, so when you shoot at home, do you listen to music, or are you alone on the range, or is there a lot going on?
It changes day to day. If sometimes I will go in the range and I'll be by myself, I don't play music, I just shoot. Other days, my nephews are in there and they're like today, this morning, he was in there and he was sitting right next to me watching with binos and telling me, shoot or go so there is some distractions. Sometimes customers will come in and shoot next to me and they'll ask questions. A lot of times if a customer comes in, they'll ask questions or talk or whatever. But I also shoot like a league night every Tuesday. So that I get a little bit of mixture of stuff. Sometimes if other people are shooting, they'll have music playing, but when it's me, normally I just don't turn it on at all.
And now, a little off topic, but are you one of those people, do you prefer to practice alone, or do you like when it's busy and there are other people you can talk to and
I prefer alone because like when I'm practicing, like I just want to worry about my shooting and like when especially when I'm working on something specifically. A lot of times I'll try and go to the shop before it's open so I won't have other people in there. But once I feel like if I'm not working on anything specific and it's like, okay, I want more of a tournament feel, then that's when I will actually like to practice with other people. I try to sign up for like small local shoots as much as I can. And then like I said, I do that Tuesday night so that you're right next to people side by side and there's actually a little bit of competition going on. But I
yeah,
think it
so when you get
depends.
to an event and you're, like, standing super close to another one, you're not like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I went down to, Lancaster, like, a week early, and I've been going to the shop practicing there, which there was other people there practicing for the tournament, and I actually think that was, it was good. It was good to shoot right next to people that, you're gonna be competing against and that are, as serious about it as you are. But yeah, it was good practice going down.
cool. Okay. And so you mentioned with this setup, you're pretty happy with it. Was there anything setup wise that you would change coming up for the next indoor event?
So right now,
Right.
I'm pretty happy. The thing that's gonna be, like, the determining factor that might change things for me. So, our the next indoor event is Indoor Nationals. Right before Indoor Nationals is an ASA at Foley. So, I'm gonna be working on a setup for Foley right now. Like, that's gonna be kind of, like, starting of what I'm doing.
So is your plan, are you gonna leave this bow for indoors and then set another bow up for 3D, or are you gonna swap around?
So this one's definitely staying as is. This bow's not getting touched, it's not getting changed at all. And this one is a 36 axle to axle. I have a 34 that's just coming in, and then I have another 36, and I'm deciding between the two what I want to do for Foley. I don't know yet. If I shoot
Which bow are you shooting? Lancaster.
Lancaster was a 36, a Title 36.
36. Okay, so you haven't tried the 34 yet?
No, like it's coming in today, like tomorrow, like it's
Gotcha.
coming in, yeah. So I don't.
It'll be exciting.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really excited to, try it out. But, so I don't know as far as, once I get a bow set up for 3D, this is the bow I'm gonna be shooting for 3D. If it's easy to go back to this bow I'm shooting, then I'll shoot it for indoors, but if they feel so different and I'm practicing with this bow a lot for 3D, I might set up another 34 for indoors. It's kind of up in the air right now of,
It's and it's so hard because if you get really comfortable shooting one bow and then sometimes we only have a day or 2 between events to switch over to the other bow, and you're like, "Oh, this feels so off and it feels weird." It just yeah.
Yeah, and part of me is thinking, like, maybe for Foley, I just shoot my other 36 that I have. Maybe I just set that up for Foley and just stay with 36 for the indoor season, and then once all the indoor shoots are over, if I like the 34, go to the 34 for outdoor. So I'm kind of like I'm up in the air right now. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do. When I was practicing this morning, I'm like, maybe I practice indoors in the morning, and then for 3D, honestly, like, we have snow outside and it's freezing. I'm not shooting outside. I can get out to 40 yards inside. But, like, I'm not gonna be doing a ton of 3D practice other than practicing with the 3D bow indoors, so, like yeah, so part of me is thinking too, like, maybe I just set a 36 up for Foley, and then that'll be what I do, and then I go back to my indoor 36 for indoors, but it's kinda like it's a toss-up right now. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Yeah.
We'll revisit it in a couple weeks, and we'll see where you are.
Yeah, exactly. So do you wanna talk about your Lancaster?
Sure.
Yeah.
This Lancaster hurt a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be totally honest, and I'll let you guys in on everything, but this one hurt. So this was my 9th year in Lancaster, but it was also the first time that I've never made the cut. And it's like it's just archery, like this is how archery is. But for Rushmore Rumble, I didn't have a whole lot of time to practice, just with how Thor was and how everything ended up. And I shot amazing at Rushmore and didn't expect it. And between Rushmore and Lancaster, I really put the time in. Like I went to the range after Thor went to bed and tried to find a babysitter the other times. And I like really put in some work and I shot worse than I ever have. And it just, it's so frustrating. And I guess that's just sometimes archery. And maybe it's because I was expecting more from me, and maybe that's what got me. I might need to work on my setup a little bit more, that when I got to that point where maybe I pushed a little too hard, that it wasn't shooting like it was at home, because at home it was shooting great and I was like, this is a amazing setup. I love this. So I am gonna have to do some more work on probably myself, my setup, everything. What did I end up? I shot a 645. The cut was 646, so that one, you know,
Yeah.
kind of hurt a little bit.
I know when I was watching the scores, the later line, I saw you were right
Mhm.
on the edge, and you were, like, going
I know I
above
kept
it,
bumping
below
up
it.
and down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh." She's
And
like
I was like, maybe no, maybe no.
yeah.
Yeah, it's I obviously wasn't the only really good and talented shooter that didn't make it. There aren't that many that make the cut because it's such a short cut. But yeah, this one hurt a lot, but I'll honestly say it just made me more excited isn't the right word, but determined to get back to it and figure it out, because I'm like, you know this, but when you have a tournament that doesn't go well, you want to fix it and you want to put it behind you so that the next one is a lot better.
Yeah, I feel like tournaments when you don't do well, like, you're more into practice than the tournaments after you do well. After you do well, you're like, "Okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be," and you're not too like, "I have to." The ones you don't do well, you're like, "I need to figure this out."
Yes. And so I am just gonna put full speed, full send or whatever you say to the next one. Yeah.
Do
Hopefully.
you did you make any changes from Rushmore to Lancaster?
So yeah, Rushmore I shot 5s.
Okay.
And that was because I didn't really feel like I had enough time before Rushmore to get 27s up and running. But I found a really good setup with the 27s between Rushmore and Lancaster, and I shot them. I shot a lot of arrows, and I shot them for a long time, or long enough that I should have known how they reacted. And I don't know. So I don't think it was the 27s. I don't think it was switching that made a difference. I think it was just everything together.
Yeah.
And maybe I need to go find a local shoot and test everything out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like you don't get the nerves at local shoots that you do at a big shoot, but it's still like just a little good, like, experience, I feel like. It just feels more like a tournament than you're going to ever just in your own range shooting.
It does. And honestly, sometimes I can get more nervous at the local shoots because I know people there are expecting me to shoot amazing.
Yeah, yeah. They always tell you when you're doing a match, like, "Take it easy on me," or something like that, and it's like, this is hard for me too, like, I'm not it's not coming in, and this is not just easy. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that those can be hard sometimes to just, for that reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a special Lancaster, but uh we'll put it behind us and do better next time.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk about, you mentioned that you did the 27s instead of the 25s. I think, like
Mhm.
I mean, for guys, it's so easy to get 27s to work.
Yes.
I shoot 23s. Obviously, you catch more lines here with the bigger arrows, but I feel like I
Mhm.
make less big misses with the smaller arrows, but, like, I think that it's just, like I don't know, it kinda stinks for our short draw lengths and poundage is, like, it's hard to get those big line cutting arrows to really work well for us.
It's so hard. And I might not fully get them to 100% this year. Sometimes it takes me, whenever I switch arrow brands, it takes me a year or two to figure it out fully just because you change something and it might work good in practice, but you guys still got to test it at an event and then you change it a little bit more. And it's just for us with short arms and, you know, all that, it can be hard.
Yeah, and I think too, like any arrow, if you're having a good day, I feel like mostly any arrow, you can shoot pretty well and have, like, a good score. It's,
Hmm.
like, those bad days that you're having that you gotta figure out, like, okay, like, which arrow on a bad day is gonna be the one that's better for me or that's gaining the most points for me.
Exactly, exactly, because
Yeah,
you're more likely to have a bad shot at an event, so you wanna make sure that that you find the most forgiving arrow that you can out there.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes, and for a lot of years, I've shot 25s, 26s, shot them all, it's you kinda have to I think there's still a lot of ladies out there competing in Vegas and Lancaster with 23s and doing really, really well.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you just gotta find what works best for you and whatever that is.
it just takes a while to figure it out.
Yes. That was kind of our shooting part of it. To go back to talking a little bit more about the event itself. This year was the first year that they added mixed team to the event. And I watched some of it and I thought it was really cool. And I actually really liked that they added it. The only thing I would say was that I didn't even know it was a thing or it was happening until it was already full.
Yeah, there wasn't much space for it.
No, there wasn't much space, but there also I don't know if I just missed it or what, but I didn't see any advertisements until all spots were full, and at that point, I was like, "But I actually really wanted to shoot that, like, I would've loved to sign up and shoot it."
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So,
I didn't know about it either, like you said, until it was full. I went to go check it out, and I'm like, "Oh, well, it's something I can't even do now because it's not this
yeah,
is not an option." Yeah.
exactly. So, it would be cool if for next year, I hope they keep it, but I hope they maybe open a couple more spots.
Do you know, because I feel like they didn't have a lot of spots. Were they only able to use a portion of the range, or do you know why the spots were so limited?
I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know if, like, they had practice open or
My guess is just time-wise.
okay,
Because was it Wednesday they did it?
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, because they had to which is yeah, it was Thursday, so they had to be done by noon, which is when I shot my qualification.
Okay,
So so I think just time-wise, they couldn't add any more teams because then they would run into the first qualification.
right. It would be interesting if they could
Yeah.
make it I mean, if they had enough interest, adding Wednesday on as the team shoot day. If people wanna do team, they can come early and do it on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave all the logistics up to them.
Yeah, of course. You guys write this down though? But
I'll
it
let
is,
them figure that out.
yeah. But I feel like I mean, I didn't really honestly look at it too much. Did you see score-wise how things played out at all?
Just a little bit, it seemed like they were shooting really well. Honestly, looked like they had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the big thing, like, if you can do something for fun, which I feel like we don't get
Yeah.
to do
I
that
don't
that
even
often.
I didn't even check if there were any prize money or anything, or if it was just purely for fun.
I think there was. I don't think it was a ton, but I think there was a little bit of a prize money
Okay.
going on. Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
still shoot it, just,
Yeah.
it's arrows on a finals field, and, I think they added it because now compound is in the Olympics, and it just made sense.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
See.
So the and I wanna bring back to, like, our shooting a little bit because we were talking about the cut and stuff
Mhm.
for the women's class. I think there's a lot to talk about with that because I mean,
There it is.
yeah, the cut itself, the score was a lot higher than normal. It was actually the same as what the men's was.
Yeah, so if we take it back a couple years, we'll start in 2024. The cut was 639. In 2025, it was 640, and this year it was 646. So it's been getting higher and higher every year, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
But not just that, the number of women have grown. In 2024, there was 41 women in the pro women. 2025, there were 47, and this year there was 54.
Yeah, and we only take
We only
16 for our top
Yes.
cut. Yeah.
Right now, we take top 16, and then the top 4 of those make it into the shoot down. And that's the only thing that I would wanna change about this whole thing. I think there's enough women, enough good shooters that we can do a top 8 shoot down. For the men, they have I understand that there's a lot of men out there, and even in the open class, there's a lot in it, and it makes sense to have a top 8 for them. But I think we're getting to a point where it would be really cool if there were top 8 ladies too.
I agree, and I think if you looked at the match scores, I mean, those were a lot higher than normal as well. Like, the matches are high enough and interesting enough to have 8 women out there. It's not gonna be boring for the viewers, like, these are gonna be good, exciting matches.
No, I think it would be really cool. Every year, I see the women go for the 12 more and more. As scores go up, as we can see they are, going for the 12 is gonna have to be added on to that as well.
Yeah,
But just for, um, looking at statistics a little bit, this year in 2026, there were 102 men and 64 made the cut. That's 62% of the men who shot who made the cut. There were 54 women and top 16 made it, which is 29%, which is not even half
yeah.
of the amount of men.
I think if we even just did half, I mean, obviously, we
Yes.
would like the same amount as men, but, like, if we just had half of us, that would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I really think that there's something there, and hopefully they listen, but I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think so. And like scores, I mean, the scores where the cut was were so tight. There was so many people shooting within that range.
Mhm.
Like you're not cutting off, if they made the cut bigger, you're not adding in these people that can't shoot. There's women that can shoot that shot well that should be in this cut. And like I said, the matches are still interesting. There's still high scores. So
Yes.
I think that the women deserve it. I think they deserve a bigger cut.
I think so. I think you would really I also think doing that would see more women coming to shoot it, because all of a sudden it's not, "Oh, it's top 16, I have to shoot really well to make it." Maybe it's top 32, or I don't know, that make it in, which is top 32. It feels more durable, and
Yes.
when feels more doable, I think we're gonna see a lot more women joining the class and trying.
Right, and hopefully it doesn't deter any women this next year, seeing because the score is getting higher for the cut, hopefully none get deterred next year thinking like, "That's just it's just too high of a score for me," and there's women that are great that were cut, so not only do I have to beat, like, these women that are great, like, that were cut as well, like,
Mhm.
there's all these other women that shot better, and it's just hopefully, like you said, that they change that and more women are like, "Okay, I can do this."
Yes, that would be my wish for this event for next year. For Yeah, more people to make the cut. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Hopefully I think out of all of the years, this year was the year where it makes sense to make that change. I mean,
Mhm.
previously, like, the class was increasing and the scores were increasing, but this year I feel like was a huge noticeable difference.
Yes, I really it's kinda crazy, and I think if it's gonna keep, going like this at this rate with many new women every year, yeah,
Yeah.
kinda have to, right?
Yeah, I hope so. And
I hope so too.
I noticed this year, I mean, there usually is a good amount of foreigners, but for some reason this year I feel like I saw, like, a lot more foreigners coming from overseas than normal. I don't know statistically if that's true, but I felt like that was a thing, which
I know last year there was a fair bit too, but that was one of the first years where there was, like, a lot.
yeah.
And then I think they all came back this year.
Okay, yeah. Which honestly
Yeah.
surprises me because with the change of the Vegas dates, I would have thought more would have come previously. With it being back to back, it would be easier for them to go from one to the next. But it seems like since they changed Vegas, it's more.
I think, for a lot of people in Europe, if you can get those 2 weeks off where and do Lancaster and Vegas, it's really awesome. But for a lot of people, it's also a really long time to take off from work, which I know a lot of people work on the side. So you can do 1 week and then go to Vegas, but then adding a whole other week on top of it, maybe that week in between, you're looking at what, almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does.
Yeah, and I think they're able to make it a little bit shorter with such a big almost 2 months in between.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I don't know what I prefer. I always liked when Vegas was right after. I don't know, in my brain, that was just, it's
Yeah.
Lancaster and then Vegas.
Yeah. I think with the 3D stuff going on in between too, like it's just it feels weird now, but it might be just our
It does.
new normal we have to get used to.
Yes, it might be. It's just yeah. 2 2 ASAs and what, indoor nationals in between.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be back and forth. It's gonna be 3D indoor, which is strange.
I'm not looking forward to it
No.
because, gosh. But also, just since we're on the topic of qualification and shooting and all those things, there were no 660s this year.
Yes. Yeah.
And it wasn't the first year that they added, prize money to shooting a 660, but for some reason, no one did it this year.
I feel like if one of them did it, and I'm not gonna say a woman can't do it. A woman can definitely do it. It's more likely that the men are gonna be doing it right now. I feel like if one of the guys did it early on, just one, there would have been more. But I think the fact that no one, because if multiple get it, then they have to do another shoot off to get the money.
Is that how it works? I wasn't sure if they
Yes.
shared it or if they.
Yes. In my opinion, I feel like they should share it. But right now, the way it is they have to do a shoot off to get it out of all the 660s. So I feel like if one person did get it, more would have gotten it later on because they wouldn't have had in the back of their head like the 660, prize money because like they still have to do another shoot off to get to it. You know what I mean? Like it's like a little less pressure, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I
that's just kind of
no,
my
no,
own
no,
thoughts.
there's probably something about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easier to do it when you're not the first one, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. And like there's not in their head, I think that no one has done it yet. They're like, "Okay, like, I can win it right now. I can win the extra $20,000, not 2,000, sorry, the extra $20,000." Whereas, someone already did it, like, "Okay, I'm gonna be in the chance for 20,000, but I'm not shooting this shot to win the 20,000," kind of.
I think you're right. There's probably definitely some mental stuff that you don't even know is going on inside of your head when it's a possibility.
Yeah. And I wonder too, like, I'm curious, maybe we should ask some of them because 'cause I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking about shooting a 660, not yet. But I wonder if they are thinking about that prize money or if they're only thinking about the shoot, like, is that in the back of their head or not? Or do they forget about it?
I don't know. Maybe we should have one of the guys on at some point and ask him.
Yeah, yeah, we should.
Maybe it's my stupid, stupid archer's confidence, but every time, so a qualification, I started out with 3 X's. I'm like, maybe I'll shoot a 660 today. Never shot it in practice, but maybe today's the day.
Yeah, I do that same thing. I've never done it in practice, but maybe this I mean, there's gotta be a first somewhere.
Right? I'm like, I might as well do it here.
Yeah, and then boom, 10. Like, "Alright, we're good."
I literally missed the next end and I was like, "It's okay, I'll do a 3:29. That's fine."
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I wish.
Yeah, I'm not quite at that level yet where I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, it's archery.
Yep.
I feel like it's you always go out there, you're so like, the first end, you're so excited and you're like, like, with all the possibilities and what this could be, and then you're humbled so fast.
Yes. Yeah, and I know for me, like, I try and always think of a positive when it's going bad, and sometimes
Mhm,
I'll, like like, I feel like everyone normally has a goal that they start out with, and then if some reason I do something and I know I'm not gonna reach that goal, I try to come up with a new goal, like, "Okay, I can't do that now, but maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do" like, I try and always have something that, like, halfway through, I'm not where I wanted to be, but, like, okay, maybe my goal is to beat the first half, or, like, just something to, like, keep
mhm,
trying hard, yeah.
yes, and I think that's the best way you can look at it when it's not going how you want it, is to come up with a new game plan, whatever it is, whether it's points or it's mental game or just realizing that today's not your day and the only thing you can do is continue to work on your shot and try to fix it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's really all you can do.
The other change they had this year too, that we haven't talked about yet is the 12 ring, which they've had the 12 ring for the
Yes.
shoot-offs, but it used to be
First off, what is your opinion before we get into the new change or the rule? What do you think of the 12 ring?
in general,
Mhm.
think I think it's exciting. At first, when it came out, like, my initial reaction, because 'cause I'm a very, like in my head, the best shooter deserves to win. That's, like, how I always am, and in my head, I'm
Mhm.
"Oh, well, like, someone else can win," and, like, they drop more points, but then they, were lucky and got the 12. But after seeing it and watching it, I don't think I quite have that opinion anymore because I mean, it's hard to shoot a 12. I mean, there's maybe a little luck, but you have to do really well to shoot the 12. And it does make the shoot-offs more exciting, when someone can come back, and I also realize, I like how 3D is exciting where if you make a bad shot, you can, like, get your way back in, and I realize, like, okay, this is actually similar to that thought process of 3D, like, okay, you can make points back, so now I do like it. When they first originally added it, I was a little unsure, I was like, but is that gonna be the best shooter that wins? I wasn't sure about that. But do you have similar thoughts, or are they different?
Eh, I definitely thought the same you did when it first came out. I lost the title that year because of the 12, so
A little touchy subject.
I'm gonna be honest, my brain is still getting used to it, and it's so different from target archery in general because target is so much just middle. The more middle you hit, the more you're gonna win. This is not the middle. My brain can't really comprehend it, and so I still don't know how I feel about it. I fully understand it from a viewer standpoint. I think it's really cool to watch, and the fact that they're still in it, even though they may have dropped enough point to not be. So I get it, but my brain
Yeah.
doesn't like it.
Yeah, no, I
And it
understand that.
yeah, it's I don't aim well, and that's probably why I like target. I don't aim well when there's like a bunch of rings and it's easy to just put it in the middle of all those rings and shoot. But making my brain aim outside of all of those rings in some random spot is nearly impossible for me.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard.
It's
I
so hard.
I kind of like, though, how it rewards depending it might not reward, but how it can reward someone that's being gutsy. Like, when someone's being really gutsy and they do well, like, that to
Mhm.
me is so exciting,
Yes.
and
And I
I
will say I like it more now with the new rule change, which is we should probably mention it, but it is that the first couple years they had it, you could shoot 112 per end. But now you can shoot the 12s wherever you want, but for maximum, which means you don't like, before you had to if you wanted to shoot 412s, you had to do it in the first end, and the first end is very often you're nervous, you're not really sure if your bow is hitting like it was on the practice range and everything. Now you can do it with your last 4 arrows,
Yes.
which I think is a really cool change because it's gonna make it so much more interesting and is yeah, that I
I
like.
originally didn't like that when I first heard
No?
it. No, originally I didn't, because I was like, I was thinking, and I feel like I mean, there's a lot of 12s are hit in all classes. The men's, I think, utilize it the most.
Mhm, yes.
And for me, it was exciting as far as like they had to strategize, like, do I go for it early and like get points over them? And I thought that was exciting. So I thought that this change was going to be disappointing. But then
Mhm.
after actually watching the shoot offs, I thought, like, okay, this actually was good. It was still exciting. People were able to gain points back and get back into even level. And like, it made it a really exciting shoot off.
It did.
Yeah, as a shooter in the shoot off, I don't know if I would like it as much if I was a many points ahead and then all of a sudden they're shooting 12s and I'm like, "Well, now I have to work harder again."
Yeah, it's difficult. It's kinda like the 14 at an ASA, you know? Do you go for it and get rewarded big time, or do you stay safe, or go for it and potentially miss and, you know,
Yeah.
it's really gonna hurt.
Yeah, and that but I think that it grew on me a lot. I'm like, "Okay, this is exciting," and it like you said, it's like 3D, which I enjoy the excitement of 3D, of being able to get back into it. But the other thing too that, like, I mean, some people don't aim at it either. Some people will move their sight and aim center, which I
Yes, I saw
think.
that Matthias Fullerton was moving his sight
Yeah.
for every arrow when whether or not he was shooting the 12, and that takes a lot of time out of when you're supposed to be shooting or doing other things up there, so I could imagine it's kinda stressful,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
you don't have a lot of time because the second that person arrows shot, you have 30 seconds. So,
Yes,
which means that you're moving that sight and stuff. You don't really have time to let down. Like it's
it's not. 30 seconds is a lot for a lot of these shooters because when you shoot the World Archery stuff, the other target events, you only have 20 seconds. So
yeah.
they actually have 10 seconds more than normal. 30 seconds isn't a lot, but it is enough if, you know, moving your sight is what you wanna do or just aiming at it. I get why he does it because aiming out of the middle is so hard, and if you can move your sight and still aim in the middle, I think that would be easier.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's gotta feel so much better than trying to aim at this little dot that's not, and for a lot of people, I feel like, whether they're I don't know if they're running a dot or a pin, I feel like if you're running a dot, it's gotta be super hard to aim at it because it's probably covering the entire thing up.
Yes, I run the smallest dot, and even that, if you put it straight on it, it'll cover it up, and so you keep trying to move it, be like, "Okay, there it is. No, there it is. There it is. There it is."
Yeah, yeah. An interesting strategy I saw too when I was watching like the longbow and the barebow is
Mhm.
they were at times turning, calling the 12, but I don't think they were actually going for it. Because, the 11s, which I didn't realize the 11's still in play. I thought if you called the 12, the 11's out of play. But they were calling the 12 with the thought of, oh, well, if I accidentally miss and hit there, I might as well get a 12 out of it, which I thought was
Mhm.
kind of interesting.
Yes, it's you kinda have to change your mental game sometimes a little bit for that sort of thing and
Yeah.
just make it work.
Yeah. It is something though I think that sets Lancaster apart. Like, no one else, no other indoor shoot does that. It's like, this is Lancaster's thing.
Yes, it is, and I think they they probably did it because cores were getting too close and they needed something to make it more fun to watch.
Right. Instead of, okay, just closest arrow to the center, shoot off at the end. This is more exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Were you able to watch, because I know you were driving home at the time, were you able to watch any of the shoot down or shoot ups?
I was able to watch quite a bit of them. Was driving unsafely watching these shoot offs.
Not recommended.
Yeah. More like listening, but once in a while they would say something. I'm like, oh, I have to look right now. But they were pretty entertaining. They were good.
Yeah, I watched the men's and the women's, and a part of the bare bows here and there, whenever we had service,
Yeah.
and I enjoy watching them. Even when I'm mad that I don't make it, I'll still watch them.
I think it's also, like, good to watch them too, like, you didn't make it this year, but you might make it next year, so now you have with the
Mhm.
new 12, the way it's running, it's like, "Alright, what next year when I'm in there, what should I do? How is my strategy gonna kinda work?" kinda thing.
Yeah, and you kinda have to you kinda it's a good idea to have a little bit of an idea and plan for how you'd play it, and you can tell it really matters a lot who shoots first,
Yes.
because at the end, if you shoot second, you know exactly whether or not your opponent shot a 12 or a 7 or an 8, and if you need to go for it or not. So I think the highest rank, it's usually the highest rank who decide who goes first.
Yes.
And that just means it matters even more how well you shoot and where you end up in the ranking, because going second is super important.
Which that's another interesting thing to bring up with Lancaster is, like, every single arrow you shoot matters. 'Cause to get the rankings, they take your elimination plus your match scores. So every single even though you win a match, if you win an easy match, like you and your opponent both don't shoot the greatest, just because
Mhm.
you won isn't good because you are now points behind other people that had a good match. And I mean, for us, there's only 4. For men, there's the 8 that go into the eliminations, but it's a lot harder to go from 4th all the way up to 1st.
Yes, yes. And I love that about Lancaster is the fact that the qualification actually matters and it's important. It's not just a once you've shot qualification and have your ranking, you might as well just throw it out the window, you know?
Yeah, no,
It's
I like that a lot too.
all the hard work matters.
Right, which a lot of shoots, you shoot, like, a lot of arrows for qualification. The majority of your shooting is qualification, and then you
Mhm.
get into matches, and that qualification doesn't matter anymore, but 90% of the arrows you shot is what got you there, but they don't matter,
Yeah.
like, they're done. Yeah.
Yes. Which again, I guess is a little bit like 3D, like the ASAs,
Yeah,
because they all add up and all the arrows you've shot that weekend also matter in the shoot down.
right, exactly.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, Lancaster does a good job.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Good job, guys.
Speaking of this year, I could tell they did more like media and they're doing a really good job of promoting and getting Lancaster and the shoot out there. And I think it's really cool. They did like a media time for a lot of the shooters and they gave us these little baseball type cards.
I called them baseball cards, and someone picked on
Yes.
me, they're like, "You mean archery cards?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I guess trading cards is the right term."
Trading cards.
Yeah.
Which we both forgot to bring ours, but we'll put little pictures of them in so you can see them. They're super cool, and we got some cool new swag.
I'm not wearing mine, but I got it.
No, it was really cool, and they did short recordings with us that they could use for the shoot downs and commercials and all that, and it's just cool to see them using the shooters for all these things and taking advantage of them all being there at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a win-win. I mean, it helps us out for promotion, and then we're helping them out by promoting, so it's a good, like, it's a good partnership that they're doing.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I don't know, kinda made me feel like a superstar. Like, you
Yeah,
walked in dressing room and, like, your name was on is it the football players? What your name was on one of the
that's what I was thinking, there's the cubbies there.
yes,
Yeah, that
and there
yeah.
was your shirt hanging with your name on it, and they had little gift bags for you, and I was like
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was immediately like, "Oh, I have to take a picture of this, like, this is so cool."
and I was like, "Can I keep this?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." I'm like,
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
yes. I think they did really, really well. It was cool, you know? Like, we've both been in the sport for so long, but when companies do that, it still makes you feel pretty awesome.
Yeah, just the little things, it just was like, oh, you feel appreciated, and you feel kinda little special, and it's great that they did
Yes.
it.
Exactly. Did you go to the Meet the Pros event?
I did. There was a lot of kids there, it was good.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it was really cool.
I handed out my trading cards, which, the kids were so
Nice.
excited, which was awesome, but no,
It's
I like
amazing.
when the shoots do that. I mean, it's fun for Not all the kids know, like, they don't know all who I am, but, like, to them, it doesn't matter. It's like, "Oh, this is a pro," and, like, they're signing my stuff, and you get to, like, interact with them, and it was good. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. When you see the interest and, like, how many people were in line, I was on the practice range just across from it, and people were lining up an hour before the event, and it's so cool to see people get so excited about it, and it just that's what makes me go, is that it's not just a couple kids or anything, there's a lot of them there, and it takes forever for all these kids to get through it, so I'm like, "Okay, it's actually worth it.
Yeah,
They want us
yeah.
there."
Definitely, and, like, the cool thing too, I think, is, like so a lot of the kids are shooting that weekend, but there's also a lot of kids that go through that say they're not shooting. This is their first time ever, like, seeing something like this, but now, like, you talk to them, like, "You should shoot next year," and I feel like these events are helping it grow because these kids are kind of, like, getting a little more into it.
Yes, I definitely think so. I definitely think so. I think I even met a kid who said that they were just here just for the Meet the Pros event, and that's kinda cool too.
How far did they live?
They were pretty close, so it wasn't like they drove hours,
Okay.
but,
Yeah, that's still cool. It's like, "Dang."
we're not that cool.
Yeah, not yet. Our tree will be someday.
I'm sure it will.
No, but that's awesome.
It is. I
Yeah.
hope to see it grow. I remember at Vegas last year, it lasted hours.
Yeah.
It
That
was
It was supposed to be, I think, like, just an hour event, I feel like Vegas, and so many
there was
pros
no way.
no, yeah. So many pros showed up, they kept having to add chairs and tables and stuff, and I think every single kid that was in Vegas, like, even not even shooting, every kid that was in Vegas showed up. It went on and on and on. Yeah, it was awesome.
It just kept going and going, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. I signed a forehead when I was there, I remember. I was like, "This is cool."
It's it's great they're having all these events and for the kids to meet whoever they wanna meet, a lot of them have their own shooter they look up to and actually getting to meet them. Because sometimes it might be hard to find some of us on the range or at the shoot because we shoot at different times or different ranges, and so this is just an opportunity for them to meet us, hang out
Yeah,
with us.
yeah, and I think that, most pros, we try to make sure to put some time in the booth too for people to come see us, but
Yes.
it's also a long weekend, I feel like, for us too, you only can do a couple hours there and shooting, you don't wanna be in the sh at the shoot the entire day, so it is nice that there
No.
is this designated, like, this time they get to meet all the pros.
Yes. I think so. 'Cause I know at least for myself to shoot good, I do need a little bit of time every day to de-stress or whatever you'd call it.
Yeah.
It's all so much. Vegas is so big or Lancaster, whichever event we're at. There's so many people and your brain's just like, "Oh."
Yeah, you get tired. You need that, like, just
Yes.
that relaxing, like, wind down, the desocialization for a minute,
Yes.
it's a
Exactly.
lot.
Yeah, right. I am all out of questions. What about you?
Yeah, I think that we pretty much covered everything and anything to do with
I think so
Lancaster this
too.
last year. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Next up, 3D.
yeah, and I think they already posted the dates too for Lancaster next year. I think it was,
They
like
did. January 21st it starts.
I think so, yeah. So, yeah, everyone mark their calendars and make sure to come next year.
I almost put it in my calendar and I was like, "Nah, it's too soon.
Yeah, me too. Like, too much scrolling to get to January.
I'll get to it."
Yeah, I had the same thing.
I'm
Alrighty.
not very good at playing that forehead, so I was like,
Yeah, yeah. Alright, well, we will see everyone for the next one. Thank you for tuning in.
yes, we will. Bye."
Bye.